Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mommy and Daddy are gonna film a YouTube video with questions everyone's been asking us online. It seemed to work for now. Hey everyone, Eric Thompson here, along with Mrs. Thompson and the little baby. And we hope that you are doing well. Yesterday, I asked if maybe some of you had questions for us. It's been a week to the day since Dr. Joe pulled Hannah out of Tori's uterus. And we wanted to just do a little reflection video. This is the kind of video that honestly I wanted to have watched before Hannah came. I did not find anything like it on YouTube because most of the vlogging seems to be before the birth. I couldn't find a good, what is it like 1 week after the baby comes home kind of thing. And so I asked on Facebook and got some responses here, quite a few actually. We're not going to be able to get to all of the questions, but we wanted to try to get to some. People just wondering, what is it like? I'd like to start with, though not a question that was asked on here, but one that I get a lot, and that is, how are you? Especially in light of the zip situation.
Right. I would say the recovery is going pretty well. The first couple of nights that we were home, it was hard for me to get up to take care of her during the night. Just that motion of going from, flat on my back or my side to up and out of bed and back and forth was kind of tough. But I feel a lot better. We've been around fine. I don't really need to take my pain medicine. A lot of times I'll do it before I go to bed just to make that a bit easier, but I feel okay. Mostly I'm kind of itchy now. So I can't scratch there, but...
Nope. I do inspect the incision every day, and it looks just fine. So we'll go in to see Dr. Joe next week and just do a checkup, make sure that everything is healing well with that, but don't seem to be any issues right now. That's very good. Anything else that you want to say about yourself in recovery from the C-section or just from birth in general, or any other kind of thoughts?
I'm definitely tired, but it's not so bad. I think mentally I would just like to be able to go to sleep and not have it interrupted. I could get the same amount of sleep, I think, as I used to get in a 24-hour period. It would just be broken up, and it's kind of hard to get in that mindset of sleeping when the baby sleeps. I just want to be able to say I'm going to go to sleep and nothing's going to wake me up for 9 hours, and then I'll feel better. But, can't do that, so...
You may never have that again. That's okay. That's okay. Well, and certainly I think it's worthwhile to mention your emotional state, your mental state. Very fragile, but I think there's a beauty in that. It's not something that I have. I don't have the hormones. Someone's going to know what I'm referencing there. Do you know?
No. Someone's
going to put it in the comment section below. Where does that little mispronunciation come from? The hormones. Go get them. Miss Tori cries at the drop of more than a hat. Okay. She comes out and sees me cuddling with the baby. Tears. She realizes that she can't co-sleep with the baby because I'm so big and I would roll over on baby. Tears. We watched the Walking Dead episode when Lori has to get the C-section. Tears. So a lot of crying in the Thompson home from the female constituents, but it's beautiful and it's different than my experience with the baby, but it's still pretty neat. Let's get to these questions, please. Okay, from Don Ross, Uncle Don, right?
Yes.
How was being parents the first week of a newborn? Phone. It's a loaded question, Uncle Don. But I would say it is unexpected. A lot of undiscovered country. Every day, something that you didn't think you'd be doing, but something that you find yourself kind of loving to do. Like today, it was a double hitter for Miss Hannah. She had excellent projectile vomit, and
which was completely my fault. She was very good. It was because of me.
fair enough, because Miss Tori she
I
just shakes her. She just
no.
she was jiggling her after a feeding, And then we had a partial blowout. So unexpected, but we take it in stride and we do it with love and try to keep things as clean as possible. What do you think about this?
I think probably, I don't know what you said, but I think we'll kind of cover that in other questions too, so we might as well move on so we don't take up too much time.
Marilyn from church, you were both so ready to be parents, period. But were you surprised by emotions greater than you could even imagine?
I would say her statement, "You're so ready to be parents," I don't know that. Not that we're not ever really ready. Not that we would be more ready at some other point. Just that's not her question. Was I surprised by emotions? Yes. As Eric said, I'm kind of crying all the time, just reacting really strongly to everything. Not always negative things. Somebody asked me if I was
government shutdown, very, very fragile right now.
If I was feeling depressed, and I wouldn't say that, although that it could happen later on. Just really, really strong emotions.
Very, very much instinct. I mentioned, of course, before that I had sort of that vision, epiphany of seeing Hannah, walk down the aisle when I saw her for the first time. Very strange. I guess I think about it every day, and I probably will for a long time. I guess that was something that surprised me because Tori, of course, as I mentioned before, got to gestate and really hold Hannah's reality inside of her for so long. I did not. And so, boom, there it was. I think that surprised me. I guess this is also covering other questions that are coming, but to watch Tori's instinct, I did not know that it was inside of her. Now, I knew that something would be inside of her, some mothering instinct, but I didn't know what to expect. And so to watch her over this last week has been very surprising, but very beautiful for me, okay? I really enjoyed it. It's probably the blessing for me, among others. From Katie, my dear, sweet Katie, who's expecting, praise the Lord. And she asks, what was the most difficult thing to adjust to? What was the easiest?
What do you think?
Well, I think not having sex is awful.
Mine sort of goes along with that. I guess maybe we'll just put a TMI warning in case you're somebody that doesn't really want to hear us talk about intimacy.
As Woody Gamer's Tag would say, we are about to acknowledge the existence of sex, and that people have it, and that people enjoy it.
So if you feel uncomfortable, we'll get whatchamacallit.
Nope.
I can't remember anything.
No, I will not.
Skip ahead.
You may skip ahead if you would like. Okay, yes, go ahead.
So I definitely think, and this sort of covers Lauren Bittner's question later, how it's affected the two of us, and
sure.
If we're closer. The hardest thing for me to adjust to is definitely like the dynamic between all three of us, and feeling like, they always say that you, in a marriage, in a family, you need to put the marriage first and then take care of the kids later. But at this point, I can't just be like, okay, you have to go to your room and be quiet for a while. I have to take care of her and, feed her and change her, and she's completely dependent on me. And so there's that instinct to take care of her that's kind of topping everything, my own needs in our relationship. And so kind of navigating that is hard, and feeling really, really close to her and wanting to feel really, really close. And I'm obviously,
yeah.
we just made a baby, so that's pretty cool, but
yeah.
It's difficult. And I don't personally, being female, it's not like the sex that I miss exactly, but the intimacy of it.
Yeah. Well, and indeed, I don't think this is the most difficult thing, but because the trade-off is pretty substantial and worth it. But when we're all together, the three of us, I don't want to confuse, and I hope that you won't pervert anything I'm going to say, but when the three of us are together, indeed, because I've been so focused on Tori and her well-being, there's a definite drive there that kicks in, even an arousal. you know, because we're experiencing a new intimacy. It's almost like dating again in its own way, like being engaged again, kind of, because we're sort of new people now and we're getting to know each other in a new way. I would say anyway. Yeah. And I'm like, I feel it. It's like, I would like to take Tori to bed right now, you know, because there's that, that immense, powerful draw to her, you know. I was like, can you put the baby away, you know? But obviously it can't happen purely for physical reasons, you know, because her body is gotta put itself back together again, you know, before we can have another child. So there you go. The easiest thing, oh gosh, I don't know. I guess for me, it is to take care of Tori. I use this example, like Tori feeds the baby, and I feed Tori. Tori cleans the baby, and I sponge bath Tori. You know, that's not. I don't do that, but I try to clean the dishes. I keep the house clean. I try to keep things in order, so that when Tori needs something, it's there. When Tori reaches for something that's clean, when Tori is in need of this or that, she can do it. I kind of get out of the way a little bit and let her instinct just possess her, which it does, and it's beautiful. But I try to support her, so I see the baby first, and then Tori, and then me. And that's very easy for me because like she said, especially in kind of the Catholic view, our marriage is always first. I'm always Tori's first, not even Hannah's. You know, I'm always Tori's husband, and then I'm Hannah's dad. And so I'm just keeping my eyes solely on Tori, supporting her, trying to facilitate everything that she needs. But even though the consequence is, you know, maybe some feeling of distance or whatever it is, but it's easy for me because that's my instinct. Her instinct is to take care of the baby. My instinct is to take care of her. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. If we can keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's easier, Robin? What's easier? This is a great question. First week with a new puppy or a newborn baby, Miss Tori?
I've never had to be an adult taking care of a new puppy, so I don't think I can compare the two. And he, in a sense, has not had to be an adult taking care of a new baby. I've been pretty much doing that, and like he said, he's been taking care of me, and he still goes to work, and so I don't know that either of us can answer that question.
Well, we're kind of comparing experiences because I did take care of Slippers, and it was not like a week. It was like 2.5 months of the same thing, and it was a nightmare. I was working, but trying to make sure that she went out to potty every hour on the hour, coming home to untold amounts of devastation and destruction. You know, it was very difficult, and so I am only imagining from Tori's perspective, you know, with feedings not quite on the hour, but also very often. All of that. I guess to some degree, and you already mentioned it with Lori, did we miss that thing called sleep? Well, we're sleeping well enough, but as far as it being easy sleep or consistent, that's challenging. And just last night we were discussing, you know, co-sleeping and...
Or bed sharing.
Yeah,
co-sleeping is...
Excuse me.
No, I just want to make sure that for people that are picky about it, co-sleeping, sleeping in the same room with the baby, which we were planning to do, as opposed to bed sharing, where she's actually in our bed and not like in a pack and play next to it.
Pardon me, yeah. And so, you know, that was very difficult, you know, because Tori would feel better with Hannah in the bed with us, but I do not feel comfortable with that because I'm bigger, and I sleep quite deeply, mostly because I don't sleep very much, and so when I do, I go right to it. And honestly, I'm sure just like you fall asleep on one side, you wake up on the other. You don't know how many times you changed in the night, when you rolled over, did you get up and go to the bathroom and come back? You don't know. And so my fear is that I would just roll over and hurt her and not know it, you know, and Tori would wake up and scream and punch me in the nose, and I'd say, what? You know, but that's very challenging for us, you know, because we want good sleep and full sleep, but we also want to be right there for the baby in case anything happens, you know, or if she has little needs too. Let's see. Let's kind of go back to Robin. Lauren, I think we covered your question there a little bit in the relationship differentials, although we'd be glad to talk about it more. Robin asks, what is the most useless item you have discovered that is geared towards new parents?
I don't know that we have any personal...
well, I guess this is not a bad thing, but some of the pacifiers are very hit and miss-ish, but the pacifier itself is not... right?
No, thank you. I don't know if it's been in your mouth recently.
Isn't it geared toward us? I don't know.
But that's not a useless thing.
No,
I think we did a good job of getting things that we just thought that we really needed. Those were only things we got for ourselves. You know, we didn't get a wife warmer or that kind of thing. I think that would be a silly purchase personally. But I don't think anything that we have has been useless. Do you?
Not so far, right?
There's things that we'll need later on that we don't need now. But
there were things I had asked with people about, like, do you need a diaper pail? You know, of course now initially the poop does not smell that bad at all because there's just breast milk in her stool. You know, but later on maybe, you know, like I found on Amazon you could find them anywhere, or you could just steal them from the grocery store, which I occasionally do. Those produce bags, you know, they come in rolls of like 1,000, and just use that for your diaper bags. Put the diaper in there, tie it off, put it in the garbage, and you'll never smell again. And why would you buy a $50 diaper genie with the $40 inserts? What's wrong with you? Okay, if you have that much money, then be charitable and send some over here. You know, but it's a good point, Robin, that you make. You know, because it's a business for so many people, for big companies that make a lot of money off of people like us who don't know. And are just going to spend money wherever we can. You know, Amazon has their top 1,000 things that you need for a baby. And we also just don't have the space for a lot of stuff in our little house, too. Yes, this is excellent. Wendy, my dear Wendy, what is the most annoying thing other parents say/do to you and or the baby? What is the most helpful?
I really like this question, but
we might hurt some people's feelings.
The only time that I've left the house so far has been when we went to our pediatrician's appointment. And so I haven't had a whole lot of interaction with other people. And luckily, what I have had, mostly before she came, has been positive. A lot of people from church that have given advice, but in such a way as, like, you know, this is what I did, this is what worked for me, but, you know, whatever works for you. Like, I don't feel pressured or judged, although now it's only been a week, so now I'll actually start making, or we will start making parenting decisions that people may disagree with. We'll see how it goes.
Sure.
But, it has been very helpful getting advice from people, mostly when we ask for it, as opposed to having it offered. But what do you think? You go ahead.
I'd agree. I think one of the most distressing things to me in the pregnancy was when people dared to tell me that they knew what to do. You know, as if anyone knows anything about any of this, really. You know, because as I tried to tell Tori, and I think it turned out to be fairly solid wisdom. The only consistent thing about births, about deliveries, is that they're inconsistent. So, oh, well, you're going to want to try this and do this. And, you know, honestly, I don't think I used anyone's advice during the whole freaking thing, you know, and I got a lot of it. You know, and I asked, Ashley and Elizabeth Spagnoli and so many of our friends, I said, what can I do, you know? In the end, I threw a lot of it out because it didn't end up being the way it was for them, which is fine. But I think it very much challenged me when someone else came at me. Just a person, not a doctor or a specialist. Although, isn't it curious that now everyone thinks they're a specialist in this because they had one kid or five, no matter how they had them. But they come at you and say, well, this is how I do it. So this is absolutely how you should do it too. You know, I don't appreciate that, and especially because it's going to be our own experience, and I don't want to stamp it later and say our experience plus your advice. You know, it's our experience totally. It belongs to us and to our family. But all that being said. Like Tori said, those who do offer it in spirit of love and in helpfulness, you know, it's wonderful. And even sometimes those who offer it without asking, you know, because maybe they know that we're going through this and it's something we might not ask for. I know one of my coworkers, a dear friend, you know, he and I can talk about some of the guy issues that we have, you know, and I can go to him. And he can come to me, and it's open dialogue, it's loving dialogue, and we comfort each other and encourage each other and joke and laugh. This is how we handle it together. I think that's what's most helpful to get that second part of Wendy's question. What's really most helpful is that, you know, we have so many friends, wow, who really want to offer advice in love and in Christian love especially, who want to see us succeed, who want to see the baby be healthy, who want to see everything go well. And that's such a treat. It's a real gift. And that's why, among other things, we want to do this kind of online thing to recognize that she has a great massive family in Christ, and we want to bring everyone into that to share on this experience, and also to thank everyone, of course, for all of their input. I didn't mean to be a jerk there beforehand. That's how I feel, truly, but maybe that's also a lot of my instinct as well. I want it to be our experience, I don't want people hovering around us watching saying, oh, did you see what they did? She had a C-section. Can you believe it? I don't know what they would say. Louisa.
But nobody has said that. Everyone has been very, I don't think, right? People have been very supportive.
I don't know. People in their own homes say a lot of things. Louisa, how did you feel when you saw her for the first time? I'm not going to tell the walking down the aisle story again, but I have not heard what you thought in the video, which everyone saw and cried at in the last video, us too. What did you think when they brought her over and her little weird puffy alien face was looking at you? What were your thoughts?
Gosh. I think I was mainly just feeling relieved because I didn't get to see her come out, or, all I could see was the back of the nurse and the doctor that were taking care of her, and so I wouldn't say that I was scared exactly, but like the time between I knew that they got her out and hearing her, for instance, kind of made me a little nervous, and so, yeah, relief.
Sure.
I didn't have quite as touching a moment to share as you did.
Very different, like I said, and unexpected, from my perspective. Let's take one more from Grandpa, okay, from Marfor, or whatever his name is. Eric, what's been most surprising?
Gosh. Do you have something? I might have to think about this one.
I guess he was not very specific, but in general, I would say again, Tori's mothering instinct is surprising, not unexpected, but to watch her do it, is surprising to me. To see the way that she moves, the way she handles herself, the way she pursues the baby and takes care of Hannah and all those different things, that's surprising. Again, not unexpected, but it just, I feel genuinely surprised every day. I'm like, look at my wife, there she is, off she goes. That's really neat. I guess I would start there. Let me think. You talk.
I realized I was reading through these yesterday, and up until this morning, I was thinking it surprised me. I imagined that there was just going to be like poop and throw up and everything everywhere, and I would be changing her all day long and like going through so many outfits. And up until this morning, I would say that was not really the case. She threw up on me once, like it was right when my milk had come in, and so I kind of didn't really realize yet that she actually had something in there more than the colostrum that they get the first few days, and so I'm like, oh, there we go, and now I have to be a little bit more careful about what I'm doing with her because she's getting something in her tummy. But then this morning there's poop on things and throw up on things, and so I don't know about that anymore. But I think it's not as hard in the very beginning as I imagined that it would be, just because she spends so much time sleeping, and I'm just at home. I don't have any other kids yet to take care of. I can't imagine, like, once they've got, if you have a toddler running around and you have a newborn, that kind of thing, it's going to be way harder. But right now, I can lay down when she's laying down, and I don't have to do the dishes necessarily. It'd be nice if I could, but Eric will do them when he gets home, and so
Lovely.
It's not that tough yet, but knock on wood, because I'm sure, like, right now, she can't really do anything. She can't move anywhere on her own, so if you set her down on the bed for a second and go to the bathroom, like, she's not going to roll anywhere. I don't have to worry about that, but when she can do more things, I'll have to be more mindful of her.
Sure, yeah. Well, and by then I imagine her rhythm will have somewhat stabilized a bit more, and so easier to control. Yeah. We're 25 minutes. I said it wouldn't be a half an hour long, so you better stop. Otherwise, I'd make a liar of myself.
Has anything gone exactly as you thought it would? This was the last question. I don't think anything's gone exactly as I thought it would. How about you?
Well, I said that the only consistent thing about deliveries is that they're inconsistent. But it happened precisely as I thought it would, in that we'd have the baby and we'd be home, we'd be healthy and safe. I never for a moment doubted that that would be precisely what would happen. The process was not as we anticipated, but in my mind I said, nope, it's going to be just fine, and it really truly was. And so, yeah, some of the details didn't fall into place like we expected, but I'd say in the other respect that it happened precisely as I imagined that it would, in a sense. And I think that even though, like I said, unexpected somewhat and surprising, or not unexpected, pardon me, but surprising, Tori is behaving precisely as I thought that she would. In the delivery, I rode her pretty hard. There was no crying, there was no screaming, there was no hand squeezing like in all the movies. She was disciplined and in order, which was what we wanted. I know that sounds so strict and anal, but it was important.
This isn't. Who is it? Is Tom Cruise the creepy guy that you can't make noise in birth with if you're with Katie Holmes? What were they? The weird religion, Scientology.
Christian
where
Scientist.
Where you can't make noise when you're giving birth. It wasn't like that or anything. It sounds bad. Just that he means that.
It was a good focus.
It was very focused instead of
yeah.
screaming and crying, and then I probably would have lost it.
Yes, but then her instinct. It is precisely what I expected. Again, not knowing what it would look like exactly, but it's precisely what I expected. The way that you behaved and the way you flowered into a beautiful young mother. So anyway, closing thoughts.
Sorry that it's 30 minutes. Not quite.
Maybe someone will watch it and actually get something out of it. Of course, we want to thank everyone for watching and for carrying and carrying it all and liking and subscribing if you care to, and we thank you for that. I guess, oh yeah, thanks for all the cool presents too. Hannah will appreciate them someday when she watches these on the then extinct DVD format, or if YouTube has become like MySpace, the abandoned amusement park of the internet. She'll find it someday and find this channel, and she'll watch these videos, and she'll say, "Look how cute I was in my swaddle," or something like that. So thank you for the swaddle and for everything else.
Yeah, Matt and Rachel, she lives in this thing.
As you can see behind us, the thank you card tree above the action DVDs right there is slowly transforming into a pink cloud, and that's with good reason. A lot of wonderful thoughts and cards from friends and family. Let me take her up there and show her to the camera real close, and then we'll get out of here. Do you have any nicknames for the baby?
I don't. I just call her Hannah or Baby Hannah, but he calls her Mrs. Kisses.
Mrs. Kisses.
Sometimes I call her that.
You're my Mrs. Kisses.
I feel silly because that's what he called his dog, I'm pretty sure. So.
No, I call Slippers. Okay. She's sleeping so good. Look at the camera. Say good. The beard monster. Very big kiss. You want to say goodnight? Say goodbye? She say, I'm sleeping like a baby. Okay. Big kiss. Ready? Daddy loves you. Mommy loves you. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Bye. That was a good kiss.